Hi guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got 4 replays in the Cold War Western Alliance Era 2 Tech Tree Light Tank, the Begleitpanzer. Well, it's the Begleitpanzer, but we call it the Begleitpanzer because it's the Begleitpanzer. It launches bagels. It delivers the bagels to the enemy team and their heads tend to pop. And it's just their enjoyment of having that delightfully juicy bagel is why their heads pop off. But yeah, if you do enjoy the video, as always, don't forget to like and subscribe down below, as it does really help the channel. And yeah, the Begleitpanzer, what's it like? Well, the Begleitpanzer is pretty damn fun. I think, personally, I think I prefer the Marder 1A1 to the Begleitpanzer. But does that make the Begleitpanzer bad? No. Begleitpanzer is still a lot of fun. Why do I prefer the Marder 1A1? Well, I think I prefer the autocannon, the 1A1. The ATGMs on the Begleitpanzer are better, and they're definitely a lot nicer. But yeah, I think I just prefer the Marder 1A1's autocannon, because the Marder 1A1's autocannon is like, it's like it just goes, whereas this is more like the Ignis, where it goes rat-ta-ta-ta-ta, you know, and you just fire. You know, you take the enemy hit points away pretty quickly, because it does fire very, very quickly. It's got an intra-clip reload of 0.4 seconds, which is very, very fast, but it's just not got that machine gun effect, right? That feeling of the machine gun that you get with the satisfying that they do. And yeah, the Begleitpanzer, it is a big boy, just like the Marder 1A1, which means that it is, you know, fairly easy to hit. It does go pretty quickly at 82.9 kilometers an hour with the setup that I've got, which it's great because it means you do get up to a really good speed. It's got pretty good camo down at 210 meters of steel concealment with the setup I've got. The gun handling on it is pretty damn nice with 0.26 accuracy. 1.7 second aim time as well is great. 0.7 accuracy during rotation and 1.03 on during movement is fantastic as well. It means the gun bloom is basically non-existent and it gets aimed in very, very quickly. You have 85 damage on the main cannon, with 245 penetration on the standard AP rounds and 270 on the APDS rounds, which is enough to go through the places you're going to want to go through with this main cannon. And as you can see, it does take the enemy tank down pretty quickly. And it can just be pretty memey, and that's the way that the Marder 1A1 and the Begleitpanzer have both been. They've both been pretty memey tanks, and then as well as that, you know, having that memey autocannon, that memey gun, you have the ability to then also just ATGM people, and you have about 1,100 damage on the ATGM for 630 pen on the standard round, or for 800 pen on the premium ATGM. And it's one of those sad facts that the premium ATGM is just flat out better than the standard ATGM on the Begleitpanzer, because it has 800 pen and it has better shell velocity at 329 as opposed to the standard ATGM's 296 meters of velocity, which is a little bit sad for that fact on this tank, but it is what it is, really. And yeah, the tank turns pretty quickly as well with the setup we've got. So you got 42 degrees a second on the turret rotation and 38 on the hull. So you do end up speeding about, which is quite nice for the old tank. So yeah, you can see this first game, we've managed to get 4.3k damage so far with 786 assistance, 3 kills, and we're just in the we're in the position where we have to keep resetting the cap because they're in it, so we're just going to keep slamming rounds down range. The Marder 1A1 comes after us and I'm like, oh dear lord, I'm dead. My driving is great. We crash into some buildings and the Marder A1 ends up shutting us down, and sadly that was the end of the game for us. But that was a fairly average game there for the Begleitpanzer. We finished with 3 kills, 6.2k damage. The 1324 base XP, 786 assistance. As you can see, we were still grinding through at this point. The second class. And yeah, we came top of the team with that 1324 base XP. A pretty damn nice game there for the Begleitpanzer. But yeah, what do we run on the Begleitpanzer? Well, the Begleitpanzer runs pretty much the same crew as I did in the Marder 1A1. And that is I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Situational Awareness, Steady Aim, Run and Gun, Clutch Braking, Deadeye, and Camouflage Expertise. Camouflage Expertise to make sure that I can make the camo better on this tank. Deadeye for the memes because of just how many shells I'm putting into people as quickly as possible. So it's quite nice to be able to have the ability to increase the chance of doing module damage by 6% for every shell hitting their enemy tank, and obviously more chance of fires and stuff like that. Clutch braking to make it turn quicker so that I can at least have better track traverse. Steady aim and run and gun to make sure that this gun is pretty damn nice in terms of its stabilization, and that, you know, I'm better at shooting on the move by 10%, and I'm better accuracy in general, which is always nice to have. And in terms of equipment, I run the advanced loader, the gun stabilizer, and the camo net. I could go faster with the traction system and go at 89 kilometers an hour, but to be honest, I wanted to help out the gun on this tank with the gun stabilizer, make it so as good as possible, because unlike the Marder 1A1 and the Marder 1A3, the gun isn't as nice without the gun stabilizer. I'd rather help it out as much as possible with that gun stabilizer, because it is a little bit worse off than those two autocannons. And yeah, the advanced loader naturally, because you want to make the reload better if you can, because it's always nice to have a better reload on tanks, but always better to make DPM better, right? So yeah, this second replay, we are on this map, which is Heilbronn, and so far we're up to 2.4k damage with 1200 assistance. Oh, we had a big ATGM there from the Marder 1A1. I didn't expect to be there, to be honest, because that is a very aggressive place for a tank to be, especially with so many tanks around it. He's decided that we're the one that really needs to be shot at, even though he's got an M113 and a Centurion 9 he could be shooting, as well as the people at H7 shooting at him. But he's managed to get away. He actually... Did he just... No, it was Begleitpanzer that got the other... No, Chieftain 120 got the Centurion 9. I was wondering what was going on there. It's that Begleitpanzer there that got the other guy. We launch an ATGM straight down range towards the Begleitpanzer. It goes in, which is glorious. He's coming towards us, and the 122-4 shuts him down. And I'm just thinking, where do I want to go? I could attack the guys at H9, but actually we want to try and see if we can help this TD out against this M103A2. I didn't really want to take all the attention of the M103A2 because I've only got 1,000 hit points, and, you know, I don't want to lose all my hit points yet. The rickety panzer behind us is a danger, but we launch an ATGM for the back of the M103's turret. Why do I aim for the back of the M103's turret instead of just going for his side? Because the ammo rack is in the back of the M103 turret, and you can detonate the ammo rack of an M103 by hitting that back of the turret. And obviously ATGMs have big module damage, so there's a higher chance that you could detonate the ammo rack doing that. But the M103 is out. Now we've got the ATGM back in again, because the ATGMs do reload pretty quickly on this tank. We're ready to go for this Chieftain 120, because we have 1,100 damage on the ATGM. I was pretty confident of that going in and getting this Chieftain 120, and it did shut him down. Because while the Chieftain turret can be fairly bouncy, it's not going to do much against 630 pen ATGMs. We start trying to get some of our autocannon shells straight through the rickety panzer who's running away, but unfortunately for us, in terms of our damage, he gets blown up by the 122-4. We get the ATGM loaded, ready to go, and we actually see this rickety panzer over here. I'm thinking, oh, maybe I could set him on fire, detonate him, something like that, but we'll slam the shell in for 1,000, and we're 3 seconds off getting this guy. This guy's locked, he knows where we are. It's like, oh god, I was hoping that possibly shutting him down meant the ATGM might fly off course, but it flew true, and sadly it finished us off. We finished with the epic victory, 2 kills, 8.1k damage, 1,700 assistance, the Fire and Forget medal, I think that is, the high caliber, with 1,367 base XP again in the Begleitpanzer on Heilbronn. I say this tank is a lot of fun. Like, the autocannon is, right, I say the autocannon, the 57mm gun that this tank gets, it's not really an autocannon, it's an auto-loader, really. The 20mm autocannon that the Marder 1A1 gets and the 1A3 gets are autocannons, just like the one on the 4AD that you see to the right in the 30s. On this is an actual 57mm gun. And, yeah, it's pretty nice. I mean, the fact that it gets 85 damage, you get decent enough pen to go through most of the sides of people and stuff like that, and there's a lot of tanks you can pen in the front as well. It means you do wreck them really, really quickly, and you probably actually wreck them just as quick as you do with the autocannons on the 1A1 and the 1A3, but it just doesn't feel like it because of the feeling of those autocannons. It really is so satisfying when you slam those... Well, when you just slam those whole clips into people. Whereas this one is just as satisfying. It just feels like it does it way, way slower, even though it's got a 0.4 intricate reload. It's all about perception, I believe. Well, it is. It's all about perception. You're probably doing more damage quicker, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like it. But yeah, you saw us take a speculative shot there on this map, which is Duckler Pass. And the reason I do that is when I pop up at that position at J8, I am always probably going to launch a speculative ATGM towards E3. I'm probably more likely to do it, actually, if I go up at the position at D9. And the reason is because, like what's already been spotted, if people like to sit at E4. And if people sit at E4, you launch a speculative ATGM straight away. You're not going to get spotted while you fire the ATGM, and then you can guide it in before they realise it's even going to happen, and thus they lose a load of hit points. But now we're flying in the Begleitpanzer. And we've seen this T-55 Enigma. He's all alone. And it's like, Mr. Enigma, I want to shoot you. We get the ATGM ready, aim it in, and it goes really, really low. Sad times. We get a few shots into him, though, with the autocannon, and we flee the scene, pretty much. But the ATGM is nearly ready, and it's like, Mr. Enigma, this ATGM is going to hit you, my friend. Uh-oh. Oh, no. We've got 10 seconds to go for the reload. We popped smoke, which was really silly, because actually that protects the Enigma. And yeah, we made a mistake there, and I was like, oh no, this is massive mistakes. We try and do a little turn here, the handbrake turn, to try and get ourselves safe from the guys that were on the hill. We pop an ATGM towards the Enigma, because I thought, you know what, I'm going to take the hit for the Enigma and just deliver the ATGM. And we delivered the bagel straight to that T-55 Enigma. He enjoyed his bagel, and his head popped off. Because that's my thing with this tank, is like, I'm not launching ATGMs, I'm launching bagels. And people enjoy their bagels. That T-62, you see, he enjoyed his bagel, and not as much as the Enigma, clearly, because the Enigma's head flew off. That's how much he enjoyed the bagel. But, you know, they do significant damage. 1100 damage on the ATGMs is absolutely lovely. The reload, like, it's that jump up, right? Because the Marder 1A1 with its ATGMs only gets 915 damage. I say only, that's still quite a lot, but it's 915 damage for 550 pen, whereas you get 630 pen on this on the standard, and then you also get 1100 damage. So that extra hit is really, really nice. And the fact that the reload of the launcher is only like 15 seconds, something like that. It's absolutely beautiful, because you reload it really quickly, you launch the ATGM, and then you can just go rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat with this gun, and you'll have a pretty damn nice time with it. I don't know what it is, I've really enjoyed this tank. Like, I didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did after the Marder 1A1, because I really did enjoy the Marder 1A1. I enjoyed the playstyle, and I also enjoyed the autocannon on it, like I enjoyed a lot of the autocannons. And so I thought, well, if we switch from a standard autocannon to this 57mm gun, am I really going to enjoy it that much? And yeah, I did. I really did. So we've got the ATGM loaded for this T-72M1. Unfortunately, we take the hit from the T-72M1. I was hoping to just launch it and then get behind cover, but he took the hit, got set on fire, and he was destroyed. And we're down up to 8,500 damage. And this is another thing about the Begleitpanzer, by the way. You're seeing it right here. I mean, we're going at 60 there. It can go at the same top speed as it can go forwards. You can see why I'm driving backwards. So it goes at 82 kilometers an hour forwards and 82 kilometers an hour backwards. So you can go at the same top speed backwards as forwards, but bear in mind that the engine power reversing isn't as good as it is going forward. You do have a 25.6 horsepower per ton ratio, but naturally going backwards you don't quite have the power as much as you do going forward, so you are fairly sluggish at reversing unless you're on a hill, and you won't realistically hit your top speed that easily doing that. So there's only 2 tanks left on the enemy team. We did manage to get a nice little clip into the AV. We launch an ATGM towards that AV's turret front, but unfortunately it just did nothing, because the AVs are a bit of a pain for the Begleitpanzer, same as they are the Marder 1A1, because the ATGMs struggle to do anything to those guys unless you hit the drive wheel, and then even then your autocannon also struggles to penetrate them, which is a bit of a pain. We finished with the victory, 4 kills, 9.5k damage, 1,339 assistance. A really, really nice game there in the Begleitpanzer with the Ace Tank, the Fire and Forget medal, the high caliber. 1,654 base XP there for the Begleitpanzer. Nice game, and that's it. That was just everything about the enjoyment of this tank. I screwed up quite a bit at the start with some of my shots, and still came out with a pretty nice game, and that was pretty much my experience. And yeah, you can see the grind in the Begleitpanzer, by the way, in the stream that I did on Wednesday. I'll leave a link in the description down below for you to check that out, because it did have the grind for the Marder 1A1 and grind through the whole of the Begleitpanzer. You'll see the memes that we had, and again, there were some games in the Begleitpanzer that didn't record, so you'll see some of those that, well, you see most of the games that you don't see on this type of video in that stream, so I'll leave the link down below so you can check that out. Another map, we try speculative shots. Why do we do it? We launch it as soon as we come over because there is always someone making that cross. And we managed to get the ATGM straight into that leopard, just trying to rat-a-tat him with the gun. And yeah, ATGM nearly hit us there. But that's why we do it. We launched the ATGM straight over as well. We were going for the shot with the free aim, and I was like, actually, I can free aim over the ridgeline without having to crest, but because we actually went fully over, we had to really make sure that the gun was going to hit it, and that shot flew straight into that M103. We're up to 2.4k damage. You can see we can actually free aim that over the ridgeline, so that's what I'm doing, and it flew straight into the M103A2. Again, that poor bloke, he had no hope, and we have got 3.5k damage in the first minute and 20. And that's why it's great to go to that position with tanks with ATGMs. And before you crest the ridgeline, you want to fire the ATGM. Why? Because they won't spot you. They don't spot you, they don't see you while you guide your ATGM, which is the dream. So we fire an ATGM towards the 30B2, but unfortunately, he ends up pulling all the way back, so we can't quite get the shot into him. We end up spotting the M103A2 and the Chieftain CTR at the back, because obviously we do have situational awareness and stuff like that. We do have our camo. Sorry, we have situational awareness and stuff on our tank. That means that we actually have really damn nice view range in this tank, which means we can actually spot, because at the end of the day, we are a light tank, so we want to be spotting for ourselves if we can, and we do have the view range up to 628 meters of view range, which is great for spotting. Oh, that was a shame on that Scorpion 90. That means that you'll be able to spot a lot of the tanks at good distance, and hopefully get some good assistance if you can. And lastly, with the camo being down at 187 meters of still concealment, sorry, not 210, with the crew in and stuff like that, we are making it very, very difficult for the enemy team to spot us in return. So we tried to get an ATGM into the Scorpion 90, and it missed. We then managed to get a few shots into him as well. We made a mistake. We shot the M103A2 with one of our 80 damage 57mm shells, and then launched the ATGM. We should have just launched an ATGM, because that made him go, oh no, I'm being looked at, and then pulled away. Now we launched the ATGM towards the Leopard. He's run away, but thankfully the M103A2's turret was just sitting there going, hello, shoot me. And thus we managed to get the damage in. We try and get a few rat-a-tats into the Leopard 1A5, but he's managing to get himself safe. Well, I say safe. He's running into my team, but actually they're not really doing too much to him, so we're just getting the shells in, and we shut down the Leopard 1A5 there for 5.5k damage. And again, there's no point holding the shells. We may as well go for the full reload and be ready to shoot the next target that we see. So we see this medium tank over here, the Tyran 6. He's got 3 guys in front of him. I'm like, you know what, Mr. Tyran 6, I'm coming to help, bro. But then I'm looking at it going, they don't look like they're coming. And the fact that my whole team is behind us means that, yeah, it might not be the safest play in the universe. So what we're going to do instead is come over this way towards where a lot of their tanks are, try and spot them up, try and get some assistance, and also see if we can assassinate with these ATGMs and use this beautiful little 57mm gun to dish out the damage. So we know where a lot of them are, and I'm thinking, I don't want to go that way. You know what? We're going to drive around to get the surprise on this Rickety Panzer. So the Rickety Panzer's running away. It's like, hello, Mr. Rickety Panzer. That looked like it was going to miss, but it flew in. We're now just launching the shells at the T-72M1. I decided to pop smoke in that gap so that no one can poke around the corner and try and get shots at us. Now we're nearly loaded with the next ATGM, and we are full Prem ATGMs at this point, by the way, because I wanted to experiment science. I wanted to see if it felt any different firing the main standard ATGMs and the premium ones, because the premium ones obviously have that extra 40 meters a second shell velocity. And yes, again, it's one of those that it feels a lot different, because the shell feels like it gets there quicker, you know, if you know what I mean, which obviously it does. Oh, there goes his head. It naturally does, having that extra 40 meters a second, but you think 40 meters a second, that shouldn't make too much difference. It really does with these ATGMs. And yeah, it makes hitting them on the move and stuff like that, and hitting tanks on the move, a lot easier, which is why we did it, just to try it out. But yeah, we popped the head of the M103 there because we assassinated. His head blew off. Now we've got the MX-30B2 charging towards us. He's a deadly tank for us to face because of his autocannon, but we get the ATGM in. He's really not realised we're here yet, so we're just going to start rat-a-tatting him. We're moving as fast as possible because he has to lead us with that autocannon, because if he just RBRTs, he's going to end up shooting behind us like he did. We're now rat-a-tatting the Scorpion 90. We end up using that, we've got an ATGM, and it's like, hello, Mr. Stingray. Oh, Lord, goodbye, Mr. Stingray's turret. Off goes the head of the Stingray. The Scorpion Knight is driving, and the Rickety Panzer finishes him off in style. And we finish the game with an explosive ending there, with the victory. 5 kills, 14,000 damage, 1882 base XP, an absolutely fantastic game there in the Bagel Panzer. 1,200 assistance, a good amount of credits, a good way, because that was near the end of the grind as well, a good way to end the grind for the Bagel Panzer. An ace tanker, the fire and forget, all the shiny medals, high caliber, 1882 base XP. Bagel Panzer, it delivers the bagels. Those like M103 and that Stingray enjoyed their bagel. And it's a really fun tank to play. Honestly, I really enjoyed it. You just got to get used to the difference between the brrr and the rat-a-tat, essentially, between the last tank and this tank. But they're all sort of unique in this line, and it has been fun to grind in Era 2. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!